Today, we're going to dive into the life of a true spiritual giant, a philosopher and a cultural icon whose voice traveled all the way from the heart of India to the halls of the Western world. Let's get into the incredible story of Swami Vivekananda, the luminous monk.
That one line right there, it just captures the entire spirit of his message, doesn't it? It's a powerful call for strength, for self-belief, and for this relentless chase for the truth that still inspires millions today.
So here's how we're going to break down his extraordinary life. We'll walk through 6 key chapters, starting with him as this curious young man in Calcutta and following him all the way to becoming a global spiritual leader.
Okay, so our story begins not with the Swami we all know, but with a brilliant, super energetic, and, spiritually restless young man named Narendra Nath Datta.
He was born into a pretty prominent family in Calcutta, and by all accounts, he was a prodigy. He just devoured everything, philosophy, history, science, and he was at the top of his class. But, for all that intellectual knowledge, there was this deeper hunger, a burning question that no textbook could ever answer for him.
And this was it. This was the question that completely consumed him. And he would ask it directly, no hesitation, to the most respected religious figures of his day. He wasn't looking for theories or dogma. He wanted proof, something real, something he could experience. And for a long, long time, nobody had an answer that satisfied him.
Narendra Nath's relentless search, though, was about to lead him to the one person who wouldn't just answer his question, but would completely turn his life upside down.
So picture this. On the banks of the river Ganges, at the Dakshineshwar Kali temple, he meets a simple temple priest, Sri Ramakrishna. This is where the sharp intellectual seeker comes face to face with a man who just lived and breathed the divine.
So when Narendra Nath finally asks his question, the answer he gets isn't some big philosophical debate. It was a simple, profound statement of fact. Yes, I have seen him. Can you imagine hearing that? For the very first time, someone spoke with this unshakable authority of direct experience. That was the moment everything changed.
Under Ramakrishna's guidance, Narendra Nath was introduced to the deep philosophy of Advaita Vedanta, and the core teaching? Well, it's that all religions are basically true paths leading to the same destination, and that serving other people is the highest form of worship because the divine is right there inside every single person. This idea would become the absolute bedrock of his life's work.
After his master passed away, Narendra Nath and his fellow disciples took monastic vows. He took the new name Swami Vivekananda, and he set off on a new kind of journey, not to find God in a temple, but to find the soul of India in its people.
For 3 long years, he just walked, from the Himalayas all the way to the southern tip of the country. And what he saw was the raw reality of India, the crushing poverty, the painful divisions. But he also saw something else. He saw this deep, resilient spiritual core and this immense untapped potential. His heart broke for his country, and a brand new mission ignited inside him. He had to awaken this sleeping giant.
Vivekananda knew that to help India, he first had to reintroduce its profound spiritual wealth to the world, and an opportunity was about to arise on a global stage, one that would make his voice immortal.
The year was 1893. This is it, the moment that would define his legacy and completely change how the West saw the East was about to happen.
He arrived in Chicago, basically an unknown monk from a colonized land, there to represent Hinduism at the very first parliament of the world's religions.
He steps up to the podium, and he begins with just 5 simple words. Sisters and brothers of America. That's it. It wasn't some formal address, it was a call straight from the heart. And the crowd? They absolutely erupted. A 2-minute standing ovation before he'd even really started his speech. In just an instant, he had them.
You have to think about the context here. At a time when Eastern traditions were often seen as, exotic or strange, Vivekananda presented Hinduism as this universal religion of acceptance. He talked about Vedanta not as some rigid dogma, but as a rational philosophy that was totally compatible with science, a path for all of humanity. He didn't just join the conversation, he completely reframed it.
So after this huge success in the West, Swami Vivekananda returned to India not just as a monk, but as a national hero. And now he had to turn that vision into real action.
So in 1897, he founded the Ramakrishna Mission, and it was built on 2 incredibly powerful ideas: spiritual enlightenment, and practical, selfless service. The core concept is all right there in the motto, Shivajne Jiva Seva, to serve human beings as if they are God. For Vivekananda, social work wasn't just charity, it was a spiritual practice.
He also made sure his teachings would live on by writing a series of brilliant books. These works on the 4 yogas, the paths of meditation, action, devotion, and knowledge, made the ancient wisdom of Vedanta totally accessible to the modern world.
Vivekananda's life was just this whirlwind of intense activity. It was like a brilliant flame that burned incredibly brightly but also very briefly, leaving behind an impact on the world that is truly eternal.
He passed away at just 39 years old. Think about that for a second. In less than 4 decades, he completely revitalized the consciousness of a nation and forever changed the global spiritual landscape. It's just astonishing.
And this is where he placed all his hope, in the next generation. He wasn't just building an organization, he was trying to light a fire in the youth of India and the world, to empower them with confidence in this powerful sense of purpose. And so, that leaves us with this question. In our world, an age of division, distraction, and doubt, what can we learn from a man who saw the divine in every single person, who championed universal acceptance, and who believed that the ultimate goal was just to awaken the power within ourselves? His echo, I think, remains as relevant as it ever was.